Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about percentage increase and decrease of values. And the reason that's important is because when you go into a shop and you see something that has been on a sale and say that 30% was discounted from the original price, then we want to know, okay, so what's the new price going to be in case it is not marked on the actual label? Or we want to find out by how much something has increased over the years. So for example, house prices usually increase with time. So if we want to find out by how much something will increase based on some prediction, then we need to know how to perform these calculations. So imagine that you're starting with $70,000 and that value increases by 5%. Now we want to know is what is the new amount. And there's a very easy method to do that. So basically we're going to start off with our original amount. And we're going to add to that 5% of this amount. So in this case, 5% is equal to 0.05. So let me just do it here. Of 70,000. And now if we plug that into our calculators, that's going to come out as 70,000 plus $3,500, and then we just add them together, and that's going to give us $73,500, and that's going to be the new amount after this increases by 5%. So in case you could even simplify this further, so if you use a little bit of algebra, you could actually notice that 70,000 is a common factor between those two numbers. So this one is multiplying 1, this one is multiplying 0.05, so you can factor out the 70,000, and you're going to be left with 1 plus 0.05, which is the same as you're saying 70,000 times 1.05, and that's going to give you the same value as we had here. So in general, I think that the easiest method is to do this kind of simplification, because you're always just going to be multiplying by some small number compared to 1. So it's going to be 1.05 in this case. So just to do another example, let's say that we wanted to increase $70 by 15%. So we want to increase this by 15%. Then in that case, what we would do is we would say, okay, so let's convert 15% into a decimal. That's 0.15. And now we're going to have $70, which is the original amount. And now we're going to have 1 plus 0.15, which is 70 times 1.15. And now if we put that in your calculator, it becomes $80.50. So now if you wanted to find out by how much the increase was, so what is the difference between those two, you simply just subtract the original from the new amount. So you're going to get 80.5 minus $70, and that's going to be $10.5 or $10.50. So this is by how much you increase that number in order to get to this one. And you will find that it actually is a very, very nice method of doing things. And this actually works for when you're decreasing a percentage. So to give you another example, suppose that we wanted to decrease the number $110. So we want to decrease this by 30%. So this is the scenario you would find in a shop when you have a discount of 30%. What do you think you would do in this case? Well, first of all, you convert this to a decimal. So that would be 0.3. And now you're going to have your original amount, $110. But instead of adding, you're going to subtract 30% of that. So you're going to have 0.3 times 110. And if you notice this particular expression here, you notice that the 110 can actually be factored out, because we have, it's a common factor between this number and that number. So now we have $110 times 1 minus 0.3, which is the same as 110 times 0.7, and then basically this is going to be $77. So if you were to get a product like a t-shirt, for example, or a pair of shoes, and you were to decrease the price by 30%, then $77 is the amount that you would be looking at. And I can give you another example of that. Suppose that we want to decrease $5.20. So let's decrease this by 40%. So we can do the quick method, and it is convert the percentage to a decimal, so that's 0.4. And now we're going to do original amount, 5.20, times 1 minus 0.4, which is going to be 5.20 times 0.6. And now we just plug that number into our calculators. So we're going to have 5.20 times 0.6. And that's going to come down to $3.12. In a similar manner, we could actually be asked something like, find the percentage change of a product if the original amount was $280 and then the new price is $250. So in that case, we want to find out how much was the discount in that product. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the difference between the two. So in this case, we have 280 minus 250, which is just $30. And now we're going to take a proportion of the difference, $30, to the original amount. So that's going to be 30 over 280. So that's going to be simplified to 3 on 28. And this is going to be a fraction, but we want a percentage, remember? So we need to convert this to a percentage. So how do we do that? We multiply by 100%. So now if we do that, we should get something close to, so I'm going to write approximately equal to 10.71%. So this is the amount by which we reduced the original price of 280 to 250. And we could actually check this is correct if we convert this to, so let's say we wanted to go back and see if we get this amount. So we're reducing 280. So let's say we grab $280. And then we're going to multiply this by 1 minus the percentage reduction. But in this case, we need to convert this back to a decimal. So that's going to be 10.71 over 100, such that the percentage signs cancel out. And then that's going to be equal to 250.01. So that's close enough, and the reason we didn't get the exact number is because we rounded up to 2 decimal places in this step. But if we had just taken the fraction and plugged it into here, then we would have gotten just 250 as an exact number. So hopefully this shows you how you can manipulate expressions around by simply trying to see whether a specific amount of money or a specific price has been increased or decreased simply by taking a look at the percentages and then just doing this simple arithmetic that we did here to find those desired values.